has the right to obtain even 1 kobo from anyone in order to employ him. Even though it is government work, or department or mission, all these are God's own field of work. There is no reason why anyone in authority should demand money from anybody before he is employed. Another unjust demand is the disastrous trade in marriage. The bargain you impose in the marriage of your daughters is unscriptural, and any amount obtained as price is detrimental. How much did you pay to God who gave you that child? God's arrangement in equity. Brethren, this is how God's arrangement should function. That is, if you are employed, you must show gratitude to the person who assisted you to get employed. Even if you should give out 200 naira, this is not bad. It is not a demand but a free will offering, and it is given as a sign of appreciation. That is equity. Unless you show such appreciation, you have not yet got employment. You will not have peace in that office. There will be no progress and no promotion for you. You must not eat someone's food free. Likewise with land, if you are given a piece of land to build a house or to farm on, you must show gratitude to the giver, otherwise you would not have peace in that place. Go and show appreciation to the giver and feel free. Marriage responsibility. Some of you may fall in love with a lady and eventually take her to be your wife, without meeting the parents of the lady, but thanking God for providing you with a wife. Watch out. The end of these two people, their children and the entire house will end in ruins and chaos. Both of them are in fire. If anyone has accepted you in marriage, go and meet the parents with heartfelt appreciation and gratefulness. And you, the wife, do not rejoice because you have got a husband and say therefore it will cost you nothing. You must also show gratitude for having a husband. That is why many people say the English marriage is much better than the black man's marriage. This is true, because when a marriage is contracted in the English way of life, the husband will bring his riches and the wife will also bring her own, then the two ends will meet. But here with the black man, only the husband has to bring money, but the wife will march in carefree into what she calls my husband's home. Which home? You have contributed nothing. In the English marriage, if the wife is educated, then the husband must pay back the fees of her education, and the proposed wife must be prepared to pay the fees of the husband's education. Both sides must be equally attended to, before marriage is solemnized. If you are an educated child, your parents expect you to pay them the money they used in educating you. If you fail to do so, you will not be free, and you are a debtor. These instructions are from God and not man. Do not eat anybody's food freely. You must labor and toil with your hands and earn your food. Let our first Bible lesson be read. First Bible lesson, Matthew chapter 19 verse 22. But when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. What word did that young man hear that automatically turned him back grieved? Why was he said to have been holding many possessions? Was it not because of being dubious? Giving out 20 naira to somebody and expecting 100% interest in return. Employing people on agreed rate of 50 kobo, but paying them 20 kobo instead. That is why Christ said, truly I say to you, it will be a difficult thing for a rich man to get into the kingdom of the heaven. Lottery, pools, raffle, money doubling is stealing. The lottery and pool business is the exploitation of the poor. The poor man contributed 20 kobo or 30 kobo, but with your smartness, you exploit him through gambling. This is extortion. How could you give just 10 kobo and receive 2,000 naira? Is this not stealing? Is this not extortion? You cannot escape being punished on the last day. Tell me how you will put in 10 kobo in a machine and it gives you 10,000 naira. Where does all this money come from? They are not yours. Give back what you are given, otherwise you become a robber. This is why it is said, a rich man will not get into the kingdom of heaven. He has no peace, he is not free, unless he returns all the money which is not his to the owners. Have you ever seen a rich man spending 1 kobo, if he has no hope of any profit forthcoming even in his family circle? Therefore, since they have not sought for themselves a good land, where will they be at the resurrection of the righteous ones? Take for instance, the young man who earns 20 naira a month, but in 6 months he puts up a story building, again in the next 6 months he puts up another building. Where does he get all this money? Is he the only worker there? What they call business will show up in no time, and the entire family will go into ruins. Sometimes you will hear people saying, a man received so amount from me and failed to pay back. Do you know how he himself had deceived other people and made away with their money? He must also be deceived. All those who deceive others must deceive them. God says whatever you would like others to do to you, do so to others first. Is this not the source of your disaster? Think of the money doublers. Somebody calls on you to give him 40 naira and he will give you 80 naira. That man and yourself, who is the thief? Are you not the one? The hardships, distress, and suffering that have met pool, lottery stakers, rafflers and money doublers are unspeakable. The love of money is the root of all evil, and by reaching out for this love, some have been led astray from the faith and have stabbed themselves all over with many pains. Beloved, this way is disastrous. Others organize themselves into gangs and perform highway robbery. The night is dangerous. Do they read this portion of the Bible, that their house, themselves and family have perished? That is why God says we should be satisfied in the position He has given to each of us, and use our hands to labor and toil and earn our food. If anybody gives you money, no matter how small it may be, do not fail to work for that money in return. Whatever a person does to you, do not accept for gratis, so you might obtain blessing from God. Do not deceive anybody even with one kobo, either in your house, with your wife, children or with your co-workers, so you may not perish. May we have our second Bible lesson read, for this is where punishment comes upon the entire inhabitants of earth today. Second Bible lesson, 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 13. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. I desire you read this portion of the Bible once more at your leisure, so you may know if you have deceived anyone, and in turn someone else deceives you, what then is your gain? There is nothing you will do to another man that will not be done to you in return. Pray as you may, and fast as you can, it must surely come to pass. With the measure you are measuring out to others, it shall be measured out to you again. A world of deception. Do you not see how women are deceiving men, and how they are being deceived? How men are deceiving women, and in turn, how they are being deceived? The whole world is filled with deception. Doctors, money doublers, lawyers are on the job of deceiving and being in turn deceived. Traders, contractors, every field of business in the world is full of deceit. What then is the profit? The whole world is naked before God in their parade of deceptions. If the world were to apply itself to the instructions of God, things would not have been like this. God says freely you received, you must also give freely. You are counseled not to feed the lazy person, and we ourselves should not be lazy. Again, you are warned not to eat any man's food free. This includes your wife's food, your parents' food, your children's, and also God's own food. You must work for it. Today many of those who cared for our education are crying, looking forward to us paying them the cost, and that is why many of you who are educated do not have peace, because you have failed to pay back the money that was spent in your education either to your parents, relatives, community or government. Another ground is that some of you must have received help from friends, neighbors or villagers, but have failed to give back such help in return. They have not received any benefit from you, since they are regretting over the help given you. How can you have peace of mind? Greedy persons do not give out, but expect to receive. Some of you are chronic debtors, debts you will not be able to pay out until your death. You are indebted to both those who love you as well as to those who hate you. Beware of entertainments. If you visit a friend and he slaughters a goat to prepare a meal, for you know your own goat is slaughtered. This is how we meet misfortune. Watch out, the day the friend will call on you. If you want to prepare a meal with a chicken, he will tell you, the deal was not with a chicken but with a goat. Now you have it. You cannot eat your cake and have it. To somebody who has got this understanding, he will tell such a householder, please do not worry to prepare any food, but if he so desires to eat, he should get some banana and ground nuts and say instead, this will do, because he knows he will not have money to pay the householder back. Do you get the sense of it? Therefore, as from today, let this advice become a part of you as your guiding factor. If anybody gives you money, please think carefully whether you are worthy to receive that money. If not, say thank you and remain free. He may be setting a trap for you, or he may be looking for greater interest on that amount, so be careful. Why so do you not give the beggar by the roadside to kobo, but when a rich man buys a car, you give him more money to buy more cars? Is that not a Susu pyramid scheme in disguise? Brethren, I do not intend to take you further. May the gold